Hey guys, welcome back to 𝘿𝙚𝓼𝓮𝓭. Today we have a new deck called the Cursed Galarian featuring our Galarian Runerigus from Rebel Clash, the old card with the spreading spider attack allowing to place 2 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like for each damage counter on it. We're also using our Galarian Rapidash for Libra Horn, placing damage counter on any one of our opponent's Pokemon until they have 100 HP remaining. We also have 1 copy of Farfetch'd from Brilliant Stars to do Leek Lash, double colorless cost as well for 20 base damage, plus 10 more for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So our main strategy for this deck is to place damage counter. If they're playing 1 price supports, we actually get to kill them quite easily with our spreading spite. So how do we use this attack? We're planning to place damage counter on our Runerigus with our Spike Mirth. This Stadium card actually allows you to place damage counter on your own Pokemon each time you switch it back into the bench spot. So obviously we're trying to use this card with as many switch cards as we can fit into this deck. We have 3 Escape Rope, 3 Bird Keepers, 4 switch, and 2 Air Balloons for the switch or retreat. We're also playing 3 copies of our Rare Fossil to place more damage counters on the same Runerigus by discarding that card from play and essentially putting back the same Pokemon into the active spot. For our setup cards, we have 4 VIP Pass, 4 Quick Ball, 1 Capture Energy, and 3 Evolution Incense. For our draw support, we have 3 Marnie, 2 Research, 2 Cynthia, 3 Bird Keepers, and 2 Crobat V. We're also playing 1 copy of Boss Order and 1 PRs to help us get our double turbo for Rapidash. As for our energy cards, we're playing 3 Twin, 4 double turbo, and 1 capture. Finally, going back to the copies, we have 4 Galarian Runerigus and Yamask, 2 Rapidash, and 1 Farfetch'd. We're also playing 4 copies of our Stadium, which is the key card that we need to pull out early, so it may be advisable to swap your PRs for 1 copy of Skyla, just so you can place damage counter on your Yamask early. So that's all for the deck list. Let's go for gameplay! Okay, let's go in for our first game with our Magical Runes deck. We're gonna play Runerigus. Quite an old card, nobody uses it. Double Turbo is out now, so we actually get to play that card for damage counters. So not only for Rapidash, but we also have it for Farfetch'd and our Runerigus. We can also use it for Mimikyu obviously, but I chose not to put that card in this deck just because it's a VMAX. We're playing a stage 1 already. So Runerigus is already an evolution. I think that's already enough. Playing 4 copies, I don't think we have the space for another evolution card. I don't think it's smart to do that just because we need to fit in so many switch cards to make that 1 Spike Mirth work. And since they're playing V cards, we actually chose to bench our Galarian Rapidash early. May not be wise if they play dark types. So if they have Galarian Moltres V, it may be smarter not to play your Rapidash. But well, you actually have to, because if they are playing V cards, you have to. It actually helps you place damage counters early, while collecting damage counters on your Runerigus. You can actually do Libra Horn for your first hit, and then once it gets knocked out, don't bench anymore, because if you, you're gonna give your opponent free boss orders for extra knockouts. If they boss your Crobat, they can actually, get extra prizes, but it's much easier to kill your Rapidash just because it's weak to its Dark type. I don't think there's any other 1 price Dark that can do a 1-hit knockout, so only Moltres and 𝘿𝙗𝓼𝓮𝓭 can actually do a knockout just because it's only doing 90 damage. Not even with a choice belt, not even if it hits for weakness. Well, yes, if it hits for weakness with a choice belt, but you can't actually apply weakness for that attack, so it's quite a different strategy. It's only 1 energy though, that's why you actually get to play Sableye with it and your Inteleon Quick Shoot. A lot of different games, a lot of different flavors you get to play, experiment with that card. You can play Urshifu with that card as well. To top off for that extra damage, extra 9 damage, 90 damage for a V knockout on the bench. So they actually killed our Farfetch'd. Now we're down to 1 final copy. This list is a bit different. I actually have 2 copies of Farfetch'd and only 3 of each Runerigus and Yamask. The reason being, we were experimenting on what's the best list to be playing, and this is one of the earlier version. Believe me when I say that the best list is the one that I just reviewed earlier. So the one that's in the description below, that's the best one, the final upgrade, and it's, I don't know, it's the highest success rate. It gives me the highest success. This one is not really that good just because if you have a few prized Runerigus, you can't actually use that many. So I actually had a few games where I got 2 copies prized, 2 of Yamask or Runerigus, I'm not sure which one, but if you have 2 prized, you actually have to wait until you draw them from the prize, and I actually got unlucky enough to draw something else from the prize until the very last few prizes. So I couldn't play the second copy, I couldn't use my second Spreading Spite, and that actually is quite bad. It's super disruptive because that we are relying so much on an attack, and Farfetch'd can't actually do anything without Boss, and we only have that one copy of Boss as well. So this list actually has one Skyla as well, so Skyla helps us get our Stadium card. As you can see, we have a lot of switch cards for this deck, so many Air Balloons and Rare Fossil as well. I don't think it's that easy to get your Spike with, unless if you're lucky. So that's why Skyla is actually a good option, but I would recommend either replacing PRs for Skyla or stick with the PRs, just because, you know, I'm not really too sure which one is the best. Just because you actually need double turbo for Rapidash to work. You can't play, you can't attach Twin Energy to Rapidash, you can't attach Capture and another Twin to it because you're going to waste your energy cards. But if you have no choice, then might as well just attach a Twin Energy to your Rapidash. 2 Twin Energy is fine. As long as you can save your other energy cards, make sure you attach wisely, because if you only have 7 special energy to spare, 7 double energies. So Capture is basically there just to summon your basic Pokemon. And also for Rapidash's Retreat, the only Pokemon that has 1 energy retreat is Crobat and Rapidash. Every other Pokemon is 2 energy, even Farfetch'd if I'm not mistaken. So you actually need double turbo for Runerigus to retreat. But that Capture is actually helping you retreat to your Runerigus, so you get to switch more times, place more damage country with Spike Breath, and also help you summon early in the game another copy of a basic. Because we actually need a lot of basic to be able to set our system running. If you can place at least 2 damage counters on both Yamask first turn round, I mean, that would be super good. If you can place more on your second turn, even better, right? So you need to think about placing damage counter on both, just because they can quite easily do a boss. I don't think they're going to target your Rapidash because it can't do a knockout. So we have no psychic energies in this deck. Rapidash cannot attack, cannot collect the knockout. So once it does the Libra Horn, that's all that it can do. It cannot do anything else. So it's not really that threatening. They're probably gonna boss something else, as you saw, kill the Farfetch'd and the Runerigus. So make sure you are careful with that, just because if you don't have enough of your bench Pokemon, if they play Urshifu as well, we don't have Menifee for this deck, so I don't think we can win against Urshifu VMAX, Rapid Strike. But if they are smart enough, if they are lucky enough to get enough boss fast enough, and if we don't bench enough Pokemon, we're screwed. So there is always a counter for every deck. We are playing 4 copies now. For this list is only 3, sorry, but we have the final version 4 copies, and that actually guarantees you at least 2 copies on your bench. That means if they kill one, you have the other. Okay, they got a Flaffy and Mary on the bench. We're gonna target those 2. We're gonna try to kill both with our Spreading Spite. I'm not too sure if it's possible. I don't think it's that easy, because they have a total of 15 damage counters. We need total 15 to kill both. That means we need 8 damage counters on Runerigus for 16 damage counter placement. And luckily they didn't evolve the second copy. I think they just benched it this turn. So if they evolve it on the next turn, I don't think we can do it anymore. Let's just do it fast. If we can, we might as well do it. We're gonna Bird Keeper to that one apparently. So we didn't get our Spike Length, which is horrible. That means we still can't play. We're gonna do actually our Reckless Charge. So 100 damage is just right to kill the Vikavolt. We're gonna collect knockout this turn. It actually has 100 HP remaining thanks to Rapidash. So we're doing hitting the weakness for 100 damage, which is quite lucky. But we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it, right? Electric and colorless type is actually weak towards fighting, which is just perfect. Now we can just collect our first 2 prize, and then Spreading Spite for our next 2. Either kill the Raichu or the Fluffy on the bench. We may need 3 strikes to collect the final 4 prizes, but I don't know. If we're lucky, we can actually kill the Raichu with a Farfetch'd. I don't think we have any more, so they killed all of our Farfetch'd apparently, because we benched 2 just now. So no more Farfetch'd. We're gonna have to rely on nothing but Runerigus. So we got 2 left. I don't think it's that easy to win this game. If they evolve the second Flaffy, we're done. I don't think they have that many though. Let's hope they don't. I think they would be playing a lot though, right? If they bench another one, they may choose to evolve the second Flaffy and bench another one. That's gonna help us collect the knockout much easier. So they actually didn't evolve it, surprisingly. Because they're playing Raichu, it makes sense to have like 4 copies of each Flaffy, right? But since they're playing another VSTAR and another V card Vikavolt, I don't think they have that many space for it. They are playing 2 copies apparently of the Vikavolt, and item lock is a huge effect, which actually buys you a lot of turns, and it's a huge disruption really. Your opponent can't actually play Rare Candy, no switch cards allowed, and that's why we couldn't do our Spike Myth just now. I think we played Spike Myth, but we couldn't play our item cards, I'm not too sure. I think they locked our item at the wrong time. But they did play their Stadium card to remove our that effect, so we can't actually use it for Runerigus just now. Now we get to though. So we need up to 8 damage counters on Runerigus to kill both the 1 prize. We just need to somehow play the Crobat and research for as many. We're gonna save that spot for a rare fossil. We're gonna play our Crobat and then draw out as many out of our, what's it called, switch cards. Escape Rope, Fossil, Air Balloon switch. I don't think Air Balloon is gonna help because we already retreated. If we get like 2 more switches, all we need really. 2 switch and a rare fossil, right? Switch, switch, and discard. Because we got 8 damage counters on the second one. Apparently, unfortunately, 6 is not enough, so we need 2 switch cards and a rare fossil. Sorry about that. we do have 3 copies though of the rare fossil. Not that difficult to pull, not impossible to pull it out. So let's play our rare escape rope. Sorry guys, I'm stumbling on my words. Escape rope to retreat to our second Runerigus and then switch with a research. Pretty sure we would be getting a switch. So we could have actually drawn our... Should have played that incense actually. Could have drawn... I don't think we have any more evolution though. There we go, our second switch card, that's it. We got 8 damage counters, perfect. Now we just need to collect the knockout with either by killing the Raichu, right? If they don't heal, I don't think they can have heal cards in the attack. I don't think they can avoid the knockout on the next turn. So let's discard the rare fossil. There we go, look at the power of that. That's the strong point of this rare fossil combo, which is lovely. Works perfectly for Spike Myth and Spreading Spite, and we actually get to place 16 damage counter this turn, killing both the Flaffy and Marip on the bench. Even if it's 7 damage, even if it's 70 HP, we get to kill both, but since it's only 60, we get to place an extra 1 on Raichu. Okay. So had we played a Crobat for a Bird Keeper, we could actually do the switch with our supporter card, and then possibly draw out something else. Another switch and a rare fossil. I don't think it's that easy though to get another switch card with the Bird Keeper, because you're only drawing 3 cards, so it's actually safer to play your research if you have a lot of those items which is remaining inside your deck. This really comes down to what type of switch cards left you have inside the deck. If you have a lot of Bird Keepers left, then play the Bird Keeper. If you have a lot of item switch left, play the item. There's going to be switch card though next set. There's going to be switch card, which is another item switch. In addition to your escape rope, that's going to be big, right? That's going to be so big. Air Balloon is going to get rotated out though, so no more Air Balloon. Escape rope is still in, I think, because it's battle styles, if I'm not mistaken. Switch is probably still in, right? Switch is never rotated. So switch escape rope, switch card. Bird Keeper is going to get rotated as well, unfortunately. But we have other ways of placing damage counters. So we have Damage Pump and Gengar. So Damage Pump is going to be big. Helps you move damage counters between Pokemons for an item. Up to 2 damage counters if I'm not mistaken. Astral Radiance, really big card. So we're going to do our final Spreading Spite for the win. We actually got our final 2 prize. We actually won an Arceus, which is big. We won Arceus VSTAR, and this is actually a tournament. I'll show you later. So Vikavolt with Arceus, Raichu, Electric V box. There we go. We won first place in the tournament, the standard tournament on PTCG event. The event section, which is actually quite a big deal. I was quite surprised that we actually won with such a weird deck because it's very unconventional to be playing Runerigus. I don't think anyone does this. I don't think anyone, thought about Runerigus with double turbo. But it's quite obvious though, but it's quite difficult to make it work. I don't think it's possible without your, stadium cards. Because if you don't have any way of placing damage counters, if you have a shitty way, it's not gonna work. So Spike Month is the best just because we have a lot of switch cards now. We have our Rare Fossil Tabas as well. I love Rare Fossil, like, can't stress it enough. When I first thought about that card as a free retreat option, for the Skater Spark, I actually made a video on Skater Spark and Rare Fossil if you guys want to check it out. It's actually live. I streamed it with 𝘿𝐿𝐷 and Frostmoth. So 𝘿𝐷, Frostmoth, I think we played Lapras as well, and Rare Fossil for the free retreat, just because Frostmoth requires you to have your 𝘿𝐿Dh on a bench. So I think we played a Blissey. So Blissey to collect the energies from the discard pile, and then retreat to have your Skater Spark, retreat the Blissey to the bench, and then retreat to the Rare Fossil, obviously, and then move, put all of those energy cards back into your hand, reattach them to your 𝘿𝐿Dh with your Frostmoth, and then discard your Rare Fossil from the active, so that you get to put your 𝘿𝐿Dh into the active spot. At the same time, while you're retreating, you actually get to draw cards, draw more energy with your supporter cards, with your Crobat, and you actually get to attach up to about 8 or 10 water energy to your 𝘿𝐿Dh, doing up to 300 damage, which is a lot. 300 plus damage with that V basic Pokemon. Because you're doing 30x damage for each water energy attached to it, but it has a 50 base though. It does 50 base as compared to your Blissey. It only does 10 base. So 𝘿𝐿Dh is a little bit more powerful, but if it is a Lapras though, we couldn't play a Lapras for the deck. Unfortunately, we wanted to fit in a Lapras for Skater Spark and Blissey Rare Fossil combo, but it didn't work just because Lapras is a VMAX, is a evolution card. That means you need to fit in your evolution summons, fit in a lot of other cards. You don't have the space for that many water energy. So unfortunately, that combo didn't work because Stadium card, we need 4 copies, we need this, we need that. It's just way too much. Blissey, you need to discard your energy card as well, so you need to play Milo, Research, and it's quite risky to play Research really. If you play 4 copies, you're gonna have to think about playing Rods or stuff like that to make sure you don't. But if you're playing Basics though, you don't need Rod, right? If you discard your Stadium cards, for example, you may not have enough left inside your deck to make a difference. So it really is down to a gamble. This game is a gamble. Whatever you say, whatever you do, however airtight your deck is, it always comes down to that gamble. Are you going to get a good hand? What are you going to discard with the Research? Who's going to go first? Are you going to be able to attach your first energy card on the first turn? Like, it all comes down to luck. Even if you're playing an Arceus VSTAR with Inteleon, Arceus VSTAR with Bibarel, it all comes down to luck. So now we're up against a single strike Umbreon and Urshifu. Umbreon has Dark Signal, so they can virtually target anything on the bench. With a boss as well, if they play that extra supporter, I think it's pretty broken. So we can actually kill the 𝘿𝐿𝐷 if we want to. But we actually chose to, do something quite silly this turn. We actually attached to the Rapidash, which is pointless because they haven't evolved yet. If they evolve, it's going to be bad. So we're basically trying to force them to evolve. The Urshifu, if we Libra Horn that card. If we do it on the Umbreon, we're forcing them to waste their Dark Signal. But they're probably not going to play that ability since Rapidash is weak towards Dark type and they want to be killing Rapidash for 2 price fast. They may choose to pause the second copy just because it has no damage counters on it. So the first one dies much easier with like a beatdown. Beatdown can actually kill the first copy, but it's actually resistant to fighting type. So Rapidash is resistant to Urshifu, but weak towards Umbreon. Isn't that interesting? But they probably have more copies of the VMAX, the second VMAX. There we go, another Umbreon. They actually searched for it with a Great Ball. They searched for it from the deck though. That's quite weird. How do you summon it from the deck? Did they put it from their hand? I'm not too sure. Oh, it's a capture. Okay, they did a capture. My bad. I thought it was a Stormy Mountain for dark types. Like there's no such thing. That was weird. So capture another Umbreon, and now they got two in play. I think it would be smarter to capture another Houndour. So our best bet here is to kill the Houndoom. If we kill the Houndoom, they can't actually single strike Roar enough times for enough energies, and they're done. Right? So our ticket to victory is to kill that. Since they haven't benched enough, since they don't have enough Houndours on the bench, we're gonna target that card, and they're actually trying to do Darkness Fang for the knockout. So Houndoom can do 70 damage multiplied by 2, 140 damage to kill our Rapidash. Not quite enough though, because we have 10 HP remaining. I think they actually calculated it wrong. So they couldn't attack with anything else anyway, so there we go. They're not doing the knockout, so they actually decided not to attack. Big mistake. We're gonna collect the knockout right now. We're gonna Bird Keeper, retreat to the Rare Fossil with our Spikemuth. We're gonna play the Spikemuth first, obviously, and then we actually got 6 damage counters, 12 on our opponent. We're gonna do it right now. No switch cards, sadly. 1 Bird Keeper though, that's good enough. So 2 damage counter with the Air Balloon, and then discard that card. You don't even need to switch. Look at that. What are we waiting for? We're gonna do it, right? There we go. So unfortunately we can only kill 1 Houndoom. We couldn't actually do the knockout had they not used the single strike Roar. So it was actually pretty lucky that they did it. I think they weren't that aware that we could actually kill it on the bench, because we could place damage counter on any of our opponent's Pokemon in any way we like, which is quite a big deal actually, right? We can place up to 16 damage counters, whereas for Mimikyu is only 13. If you play Acer, it's much easier though, because you don't need to place that many damage counters. You don't need to switch that many times. You don't need your Spikemuth. You just need 1 Acerola from your hand to place 13 every single turn. It's a VMAX though, so this one is a 1 prize. You need to switch a lot of times. It's basically a different thing. You know, different cards require different things, different conditions to work. And I think this one is a bit more fun, just because it's a 1 prize and you need to do a lot more. But if you can pull it off though, you can place so much more damage counters every turn. Well, not that easy to do it, you know, consecutively, one turn after the next, but we can actually do it at least twice in a game. Spreading Spite for 2 damage counter placement. Oh, damage counter placement twice. Okay, here comes the Urn of Vitality. They're gonna do, are they gonna do New Look? I don't think it's gonna be enough. So they have only 2 energies. There we go. Killing that Houndoom was the perfect move right there, because we actually got an extra turn to do our Rapidash. I'm not sure if it makes a difference though. But we can actually place damage counter on the Umbreon afterwards. So if they retreat to the bench, doesn't matter since we're playing damage counters. So we have no Farfetch'd for this list. A very early list. Again, experimentation. I normally have to work my way around a certain deck, a certain combo, until I perfect it and go, you know, refine, polish it until I have the final upgrade. And the final upgrade is the one in the description, is the one that I reviewed, as I keep saying. It's because, you know, it's important to mention those things. and this one isn't actually working that well, but it's doing enough for this game. So Farfetch'd is gonna help you a lot. We actually have one copy of Boss Order as well for the final one. This one has no boss just because we're not using Leek Lash. So if you are not using Farfetch'd, if you are placing damage counters in any way you like, since we're playing 4 copies of the Runerigus, we have actually 4 copies for the final one as well, but this one is a bit more free just because you have more item cards, more switch, and more of the supporter to help you, to help support Runerigus to do more damage counters every single turn. So that's a trade-off basically, but I prefer Farfetch'd just in case they have a, Farfetch'd doesn't need Spike Breath, right? You can actually do a fast knockout. If you get your boss, you can do a fast knockout without doing the Spike Breath switch. So that's the power of Farfetch'd. Even one copy is still good to have at least one. That's, a double turbo card as well. Twin colorless, double colorless cost. Okay, here comes the Umbreon. One hit KO against the Rapidash. Rapidash is not a fairy type for this card. I would love it if it's a fairy type. I mean, I don't think you can afford to play Psychic anymore. Psychic decks are just total trash just because Dark types are so hyped right now. There's gonna be Darkrai V-STAR on the next set as well. Darkrai V-STAR with Moltres, insane. So there's Moltres V, Moltres, Baby Moltres for the standard meta. There's Umbreon VMAX. There's Gengar for Arceus. I mean, Crobat, well, no one uses Crobat to attack, right? Unless, well, certain decks do. If they play Arceus Crobat VMAX, for example. That's why Psychic decks isn't that strong. So all they need is one copy of the Moltres V or one copy of the Baby Moltres to kill your V cards with one hit. It's insane. It's just frustrating because you can play Mew VMAX and you can just lose to a Moltres. You can just play nothing but a Moltres and you're dead. And they actually conceded because we have actually a lot of damage counters at 100 HP remaining on the Urshifu. So we just need to do Runerigus a second another time, and they actually couldn't attack on next turn as well, which is quite sad. So that's horrible. No Houndooms. If you're playing single strike, you better be playing your VIP Pass. You better be playing 4 copies of your Houndoom, Houndour. I don't think you have the space for that many VMAXs. They're playing both Umbreon and Urshifu, so I think the smartest ratio to go for would be the maximum 3 copies of each. I would go for 3 of the basic and 2 of the VMAX for both copies. Maybe only 2 Urshifu VMAX and 2 Urshifu V, because Umbreon is actually more powerful in a sense. I'm not too sure though, because Urshifu does a one-hit knockout. GMAX 1 blow requires you to discard everything, which is not a good deal. I don't know. I don't really like Urshifu, the single strike one. When it first came out, I was quite hyped about it, but I ended up not playing it at all. I played with Colossal and the Rapid Strike, so I built a double strike deck, both Rapid Strike and single strike Urshifu in the same deck with Colossal, which actually is not too bad, but is not too good as well, just because it's a stage 2 card and you're playing 2 different VMAXs with a stage 2. I don't think it's gonna work that well. Logically it doesn't work. Unless if your evolution has the same basic, right? If you have like 4 copies of the basic and 8 copies of the evolution, it's fine. But Urshifu doesn't work that way. The basic has to be different as well, so oh well. Just because it's a V card. If it's a if it's a baby basic, if it's a baby card, you can actually do 𝘿𝐿𝐼, 4 copies of 𝘿𝐿𝐼, and then 8 copies of your evolution. I don't think it's smart to play that either, just because the Rapid Strike and Single Strike for the baby ones, it doesn't work the same way. So the Single Strike Urshifu requires you to have a lot of Darkness energy to attack. It needs damage counters on itself to do extra damage. For the Rapid Strike one, you need a lot of Rapid Strike Pokemons in play to do extra 30 for each copy. And now we're up against Durant. Let's just focus on this game. Durant, Infinite Mill deck. We're gonna focus on doing our Runerigus. It's quite silly that we actually benched a Rapidash. I'm not sure why we did that. I think it may be our first active. So our worst nightmare, the thing we have to watch out for this game is obviously Galarian, but we have 4 stadium cards. So I don't think we should be too worried. We have so many switch cards. Like, right? Come on. We have so many switch cards. Air Balloon is not gonna help though. So the reason we attach 2 energies, I don't think we should be doing that though. We should be attaching later, right? But I think we got quite scared of the Crushing Hammer, because they have Crushing Hammer, Galarian, and if they discard too many, we're gonna have to, reattach them, and they may play a Marnie. If they play Crushing Hammer and a Marnie, then we can't actually search back the energy cards from the deck, so it's quite difficult that way. That's why I decided to attach 1 twin and 1 double turbo on that 1 Yamask, so we actually have 4 energy now. Now we get to do our Spike Myth if we have it. I think we're just gonna play a Marnie. We should be evolving first though, right? I'm not sure why I did that. We should be evolving first and then get the Spike Myth out. So yeah, that was quite silly. We should have definitely evolved. I'm not sure what I was thinking. We're gonna get Crobat right now. Our second copy, and then draw. Let's hope our evolution. I don't think we can go for anything else since they are not doing a knockout. They may play Altaria though. We got the Incense Great. If they play Altaria, the one with the Miraculous Charm, they can actually attack with the Twin Energy for 60 damage, but they are not doing the knockout though. Well, we are placing damage counter right now, so they are actually killing us. But we have the bench spot open, so I think we should be playing the capture for let's just do it right now, right? Capture for another Yamask, and then prepare on the next turn to kill more Pokemon with Spreading Spite. So our best play is to do Spreading Spite over and over until we kill all of the 1-prize. Kill everything in play. We're gonna kill the Cinccino first. Well, let's do the lowest HP Pokemon. We're gonna kill 14, right? So we got 5 and 6. We should be killing both the support Pokemons, but let's just kill the one with the double turbo, because they may not get the energy on the next turn. If they didn't get the energy, if they don't have the Altaria, it may actually stop them from attacking on the next turn. So let's hope it's gonna help us buy the extra 1 turn. Deny them. We actually denied the tool card as well, so Curse Shovel didn't work because we're not doing damage to their Pokemon. We're not killing them with damage, we're killing them with damage counters. And let's hope they don't play a Cynthia Bruno. So they benched another one, they took the bait though. They're giving us another extra card, low HP Pokemon, to help us basically do easy no count. Place more damage counters on them with our Spreading Spite and collect easy prizes. And they got the Twin Energy, but they got nothing else in their hand. Interesting. They're not drawing any prize cards. No level ball for Cinccino. Quite sad. So all we need to do is Bird Keeper, right? Let's just quick ball for something. We're gonna retreat and then Bird Keeper. Let's do our quick ball for get something out of the way. We got another Twin Energy inside the deck. 1 double turbo, 1 twin. We're gonna get the Farfetch'd out. Oh, we actually chose not to do anything because we're drawing cards, they're discarding our deck. I don't think it's smart to be drawing another basic out. So keeping as many cards inside the deck, we're doing our keeping as many cards help us survive against Durant, because they're milling our deck. So we're doing our Spreading Spite this turn, a second time, to collect another 2 prize. I think we collected 3 prize this turn, because we have 9 damage counters. We get to do 18 placement, which is big. And we actually kill more than 3 Pokemons. Well, we actually kill 3 and place an extra copy. So the next turn is the end. If they don't get a Bruno Cynthia from the top deck, they're done. I don't think they can rescue carrier. I don't think they can do enough discards in a single turn. 14 is a lot, right? All we need is that final Yamask, final Runerigus, final Spreading Spite. I don't think they can kill the first one as well. They have no way of this, you know, doing damage to our Pokemon. They have no Altaria anymore. So if they play the Tempting Tunes Altaria, which I think is the one that they're going for, that one actually has the ability that allows you to put supporter cards at the top of your deck, and that means they can't actually attack with that one either. If they play the Miraculous Charm, they can do at least 60 damage with that one. Only 40 with double turbo, but that's enough actually to kill the Runerigus. It's actually quite weak. Placing so many damage counters on it means they can actually kill it with only 20. 20 damage is enough to kill Runerigus. So if they play Quick Shoot Inteleon, it's going to be a nightmare if you play Runerigus, because they can collect extra knockouts by doing that ability. So just be aware not to, you know, not to place too many damage counters if they have that Inteleon. Just play it smart, right? If you play smart, you can actually avoid the knockout. If you have, for example, 6 damage counters on your Runerigus, it's actually enough to collect the knockout against something that has 100 HP remaining. So if they play Rapidash against a VMAX or a VSTAR, you can collect the knockout with only 6 damage counters on your Runerigus on that previous VSTAR or VMAX. And placing 12 damage counters is enough. And then it actually helps you save it against a Inteleon Quick Shoot. If they play 2 copies though, you're dead. You can't avoid it. But I don't think it's that... I don't think they have the luxury to play 2 copies. Unless they're playing Urshifu. They are probably going to play at least 2... you know, normally the meta decks have 2 Shady Dealings Inteleon and only 1 Quick Shoot. So I don't think we should be too worried. Now we're up against Mew VMAX. Let's see how well this deck does. We can actually kill the 𝑘𝐿𝐻𝑒𝐿 and the Meloetta on the bench, giving us extra prizes, but we should be targeting the Mew VMAX, maybe 1 Genesect and 1 𝑘𝐿𝐻𝑒𝐿 or something. 𝑘𝐿𝐻𝑒𝐿 is actually only 90 HP, same as Meloetta, so it doesn't really matter which one you target. As long as if we kill 1 V card, 1 VMAX, and 1 prize, we should be good. Or 2 VMAXs. If we're lucky, we can actually kill 2 Mew VMAXs with a Farfetch'd for the first one, and then a Runerigus for the second knockout. We actually have a Farfetch'd, so this is the final list. I'm glad to say that we're finally on the final upgrade right now. We're gonna get Rapidash. Not sure if that's too wise though, because they can actually boss and knock it out. I don't think we have a choice. We're just gonna do our Rare Fossil. We're gonna attach the energy, discard the Evolution Incense. So we're gonna Escape Rope to the Rare Fossil. What are they gonna switch to? And then we're gonna attach the energy. Quick Ball for Crobat. We actually get to draw. Okay. Dark Asset. A full draw, look at that. 6 massive draw. Arena's Focus. And we get to do our VIP pass as well. That's great. Do we have... we don't have the second copy though. No Crobat left inside the deck, which is horrible. But that's fine. We're just gonna leave our Rare Fossil in the active. If they boss something else or cross switch or something else, it's still okay because we actually have... we can actually make use of the Rare Fossil later by, you know, doing the free retreat by discarding it from the active. So there we go, they did escape rope. Oh well, we're just gonna offer up the Farfetch, maybe, or one of the Yamask. I think we're just gonna offer up the Farfetch. Farfetch is kind of priceless though, since we're playing 4 copies of the Yamask. I think we should be keeping the Farfetch. Oh well. They may choose to boss something else. So escape rope boss, quite common. Since they're playing so many power tablets, I think they may choose to boss the Rapidash, which is gonna be actually quite horrible, but we got our Bird Keeper quick ball, it should be fine. So no boss, there we go. No boss. There's still room for cross switchers though. Mew VMAX. Crazy broken deck, right? Crazy broken, they play Avery now. The meta deck has Avery, it has Meloetta, and they actually did 𝘿𝐿𝐴. Look at that. They used 𝘿𝐿𝐴's attack. They used glistening droplets to place 5 damage counters to kill our Yamask. That was unexpected. That was very unexpected. So our first one is dead. Now we have to somehow bench another copy. We're just gonna do it right now. We actually have 2 more in the prize. So let's do our Bird Keeper and then Libra Horn. And then somehow knock out the Mew on the next turn or something else. I have no idea what we should be doing. If they kill the Rapidash, I don't know what to do anymore. Because it's quite difficult to kill the Genesect with nothing but Runerigus. If we play 2 copies though, it may not be that impossible, right? So they actually killed another of our Yamask. I mean, why are they so scared of that card? I suppose it gives us a lot of freedom, right? It helps us do high damage to any one of their Pokemon, up to 16. 16 is a lot. So they are ending our Yamask. They actually kicked out our Stadium card as well. So this is horrible. Now we got no Spikemuth. We got 𝘿𝐶 to place damage counters though. I'm quite surprised they haven't come out with a Ghost type Yamask yet. I mean, I'm not sure why. Ghost type Galarian Runerigus. It's a bit sad. They completely ignored that card. They actually created another copy for Chilling Reign, the one with the ability. So there's only 2 Runerigus in the TCG. One with the Spreading Spite Rebel Clash and one with the, I forgot the ability, but it helps you do a mirror effect, a mirror counter, I think it's called mirror counter. I think that's 𝘿𝐿𝐴 though, sorry, it's not mirror counter. It's a mirror ability, right? If it receives damage from your opponent's active VMAX Pokemon, your opponent's VMAX takes the same amount of damage that it does to it. So it's basically a damage reflect ability. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it well enough, but well, we got a knockout this turn. We get to kill the Mew VMAX with Farfetch. They actually ignored our Farfetch and played the Mew. They should have retreated to the Meloetta, but I don't think they got the energy. So we got lucky. Had they gotten the energy, they would have done what's it called? Melodious Echo. In which case we would have to do a lot of switches to get enough damage counters on the Runerigus to kill the Mew on the bench. So I think that was perfect. That we actually got to use our Farfetch at just the right time, and saving us extra few turns for Runerigus for us to get our Spikemuth and switch cards for Runerigus to have enough damage counters on it later on in the game. So we actually get to do Rapidash first. on the Genesect. We're gonna target the Genesect right now because Mew hasn't evolved yet, and it can actually do Psychic Leap with either another bench Mew or a memory capsule, but it already attached the tool card, so no memory capsule. Psychic Leap actually is gonna remove all damage counters from the Mew. They can actually bench another one and then re-evolve on the next turn, which is gonna be horrible. We're essentially wasting an entire turn placing damage counters for nothing, right? Libra Horn does nothing. But Psychic Leap only does 70 damage though. They can actually do a boss, kill the rare fossil for, for the shuffle back effect. So draw one prize and shuffle that, remove all damage counters from it, which is ridiculous. Okay, now we're just gonna put forth our Runerigus and switch as many times as we can while aiming to attack with Rapidash this turn. So I think our best bet is to hope they don't play. We're gonna make use of the 𝘿𝐿𝐴 and then play the Spikemuth both at the same time. We're gonna hope that they don't play a boss because I don't think we have any more Yamask inside the deck. I think we actually are unlucky enough to have 2 prized, because I'm pretty sure we have 1 more. They actually killed 2 Yamask, so we have definitely 1 more somewhere in either inside the deck or in the prize card. Okay. We're gonna do Libra Horn and then hope to get enough switch cards for us to do the Genesect and Meloetta knockout. So we need 17 damage counters. I don't think that's possible, right? If they retreat with the Meloetta, then it's possible for us to win. So if they retreat without playing a Stadium card, they're gonna have to take 2 damage counter recoil thanks to the Spikemuth, and they're probably gonna retreat if they want to attack with a Mew. If they attack with the Meloetta though, it's gonna be quite bad. So it really is down to what they're gonna do. I don't think they can do enough damage because we already killed the Mew. That means they don't have enough Fusion Strike energies for them to do the knockout with Melodious Echo. If they play a Roseanne and somehow draw back the energy they can attach from their hand, and 70 extra damage is actually enough. They just need 1 more Fusion Strike energy. So if they do a Roseanne, they can actually knock out the active Rapidash with that 1 Meloetta. So they actually decided to switch, and we actually got enough damage counters on both the Genesect and Meloetta. So now we just need 15 damage counters to kill for the final 3 prize both the Genesect and the Melodious Echo. Mini Melody. I'm gonna call her Melody. One prize left, so it's the final countdown, our final turn. If we don't win on this turn, is the end. Are we gonna be able to place enough damage counters? We actually got the retreat though. We got 2 rare fossils. We got it. We got it, guys. We got a switch card. This is the power of rare fossil right here. We just need to do the switch and a retreat just because we have another double turbo in our hand. So there we go. Retreat, discard, switch, discard, and we got 4 damage counters plus 4 more on the previous turn. 8 damage counters to play 16, and they're dead. We just need 15. Thanks to Spikemuth for the extra 2. We actually won this game against Mew VMAX, could you believe it? We won against Mew VMAX. That's insane, guys. You have no idea how difficult this is. I mean, I had to polish this deck over and over, go for the tournament so many times to be able to win against a Mew VMAX. It is so difficult, guys. It's not by chance that I win it. I have to perfect it. I have to keep on updating the list. I have to make sure, I have to add Farfetch'd, add certain cards, work out the ratio, and make sure that certain, we don't have that too much switch cards is going to be bad. Too little is going to be bad as well. So it has to be a perfect balance between your switch cards, your supporter, your Pokemon's energy. It's like really, really difficult. It's a lot of things to think about. It's really not easy to build a deck. And you really have to adjust to whatever people are playing right now. So if they are playing a lot of Urshifu decks, you have to adjust to that. If they are playing a lot of Shady Dealings Inteleon, you have to adjust to that. Level ball cards, right? If they are playing a lot of ways to summon their supporter cards, their trainer cards, you have to play ability cards as well, because if you don't get your supporter, you're done. If you play more supporter cards though, then your opponent, you're much more likely to get them into your hand. So it's really down to how the ratios match up, right? If your ratio of trainer to Pokemon is higher than your opponent's, then you're more likely to get your trainer cards faster. If you have more energies in your deck than your opponent, you're more likely to get your energies faster. So it's basically the matchup, how things match up between the deck lists of both players. And for that to work out, good for you, you have to actually study what people are playing. So the only way to do that is to go for the ladder, right? To play a lot of games in tournaments, in ladders, in limitless TCG. That's the only way. So we are going for another tournament gameplay with Regidrago now. One prize deck. They got Flapple and Cherrim. They actually got Tropius as well. Pretty cool deck. Tropius for extra damage if your opponent knocks out any one of your Pokemon on their last turn. Only 120 though. But it's enough to collect a knockout with, after your first... What's it called again? I forgot the attack. So after your first strike with Regidrago, it does 240. You can actually do Tropius to collect a VMAX knockout if they don't heal their Pokemon. There's 120 plus 240 is just right. If they play Choice Belt though, you can actually do a lot more. So Choice Belt plus Regidrago unfortunately is still not enough to kill Arceus. So do you realize how broken Arceus is now? If you don't realize that, I mean, you're not playing this game right. Arceus is crazy broken, yo. 280 is way too high. If they play a big charm, there's no way you can do a one-hit knockout with a one prize card. It's way too difficult. Not unless if you're playing cards like, Alcremie, Brilliant Stars, or Torterra. If you're playing cards that are meant to do a one-hit knockout easy, or stage 2 cards that are meant to do, X damage like Infernape, then it's gonna be quite much easier to do a one-hit knockout against I don't think Infernape can do it that easily as well, if you don't have a strategy to arrange your deck in a specific way. So I love playing Caitlyn with those decks, right? If you play Groudon, I don't think Groudon works though, just because Groudon Kyogre needs a lot of energy. So if you play like Cryogonal, I think the best way is Cryogonal, right? So you don't need Caitlyn anymore, just because it's gonna be a waste of space. It's better just to summon get all of your other cards out into your hand, so that you make sure you get to discard nothing but energies from the top cards of your deck. But for another way of playing those cards, discard decks like Flareon VMAX, you can actually think about arranging your deck. So if you play Sandaconda, I actually tried it with Sandaconda, but it didn't actually work that well. I tried Cinccino, Sandaconda, and I didn't do Cinccino. I actually did Eldegoss. So Eldegoss, Sandaconda, and Gossifleur. So Gossifleur to bring out all the basics, and then evolve as many Eldegoss as I can. Draw out the energy into my hand, which is actually counterintuitive. But if you have a lot of energies in your hand, you can actually play a Marnie or a Caitlyn to put them back at the bottom of your deck, and then draw out all of the non-energy cards into your hand. And then if you have an item card in your hand, you can actually play the Quick Ball, Level Ball, whatever, Evolution Incense as well, to shuffle your deck so they actually make sure those cards at the bottom, energy cards at the bottom, are now shuffled and could be at the top of your deck, for your Sandaconda to do as much damage as possible with its Big Sand Cannon. So that's the strategy that I'm playing with that deck, which is pretty cool. It's a different flavor to your normal discard decks, which actually focus on drawing the trainer cards out, playing things like Green's Exploration, Peony to get your item cards, get your trainer, Pokemon cards, non-energy cards. I mean, that's like the first thing you think about, and it's actually it works pretty nicely. But I mean, it would be nice to see some other way of playing the game, right? So we actually get to place 14 damage counters on their Pokemon, and we got 3 prize this turn, which is great. They have no bench. If they don't get their fire energy, they can't attack. But they can actually do the knockout. Hammer in is enough. Hammer in for 30 damage. So we actually need to recollect all over again those damage counters, which is going to be a hassle. If they play a stadium card, it's going to be bad. If they do training court, Turffield Stadium, we're going to be screwed. This is so difficult to get our stadium card. There's no stadium nav though. It's ridiculous, isn't it? There used to be stadium nav. Where is that card? There's not even a Pokemon's ability to get your stadium. It's horrible. There's no way to search for your stadium now. There used to be Guzma and Hala. There used to be Carbing to search for your, but that's an attack though. Carbing uses an attack to search for a stadium. I think there is a way to search for a stadium with an attack for the current standard. I'm not too sure. I haven't checked it yet. But there's nothing else, not even an item card to help you search for the stadium. Ridiculous. Roseanne helps you shuffle back the stadium, which is unheard of. Lusamine actually helps you put it back into your hand, which is even better, but I think it's banned for some reason. I'm not too familiar with Sun and Moon, guys. I wasn't that competitive when I was playing while Sun and Moon was released. During the Sun and Moon era, I wasn't really that competitive. I'm busy playing the expanded format during that time, and I play a lot of X and Y cards, a lot of black and white cards as well. So not really too familiar, not really too sure why Lusamine is that broken. Is it really banned? I mean, I thought it was banned at some point. I'm pretty sure it was banned at one point in the game, and I think now it's no longer banned. I think it's now allowed again. Kind of the same as Wally. Now Wally is allowed back into the game for some reason. The giant plant forest thing. I don't know what it's called, but the giant plant forest, the thing that allows you to evolve like a Butterfree. So you get to play evolution, grass type Pokemon evolutions, freely evolve your grass Pokemons from your hand without having to wait a turn. Without having to play Rare Candy, you can evolve it directly immediately after you bench it on your first turn. It's pretty ridiculous. I suppose that's the reason why it gets banned, because it's way too broken. Like your Mismagius and your Lieutenant Surge. So Lieutenant Surge for expanded obviously is way too broken. We have Magnezone for that though. Magnezone to help you play 2 support cards in a turn. There's no such thing for the current standard, right? You can't play 2 supporter cards now, which is a bit sad. So they got nothing on the bench, we got 2 prize remaining. If they bench anything at all, it's gonna give us, extra prizes. There we go, they're gonna have to bench a high HP Pokemon. That's the best one, right? Because you can do a Raihan to attack with your Tropius, collect the knockout, and then once they're done with all of those, and they couldn't actually do the hit because they have 12 damage counters. That means they do 240 less damage. So they did 0 damage with Dragon Energy. That's horrible. Do 20 less damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So that's the reason we placed 12 damage counters on it. That's a shame. They actually invested the energy for nothing. Without even realizing that they couldn't do enough. They couldn't do anything. So if they play a Raihan on the Tropius, then we would actually have to watch out for that. But we just need to kill the active and then that's it, right? If we focus on killing... well, we can actually do double knockout on the next turn though, because Regidrago has 10 HP remaining. If they don't heal or scoop it up, we can actually kill it quite easily. So if they scoop it up, hypothetically if they do that, we still have a high chance of winning. We just need to do we just need to kill the Tropius after they do the Raihan with our Spreading Spite for only 12 damage counters. All we need is 12 damage counters. And then after that, focus on another one prize on the bench. So they probably can't attack after that unless if they bench another Tropius with a Clara or something like that. If they do Clara though, they can't actually play the Raihan. So they may play Experience Share and another Tropius, but I don't think it's that easy. Or they may play Experience Share on the another Regidrago and then do another Raihan to do Dragon Energy on the next turn. So that's the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, if they kill all of our Runerigus with the Tropius and the Raihan on the second Regidrago, then we actually have a low chance of winning. We could actually lose that game. After collecting all 5 prizes, we could actually lose. Just because we have no more Runerigus and we can't attack with anything but Farfetch'd, which is gonna be useless. Farfetch'd can't do enough. So we may have to play like Rapidash and then Farfetch'd, which is still not gonna be enough. We need like 3 strikes. We need 2 strikes with Leek Lash and 1 strike with Libra Horn. And by then they're gonna collect enough prize cards to win the game. Overanalyzing again as usual, but I don't think it's that easy for them to play like Experience Share Raihan since they're playing Cherrim. I don't think they have those cards. I don't think they need those as much. 2 Raihan consecutive in a row, right? 2 turns straight. I don't think it's that easy to pull off without Lumineon or Bibarel. Okay, now we're up against 𝘿𝓾𝓼𝓮𝓭. They actually have no bench supports, no ability supports. Cinccino, 𝘿𝓵𝓵𝓸𝓹, Bibarel. I mean, what are they thinking? They got the Fog Crystal, but no VIP pass. I suppose they couldn't find the basic summon. So no Bibarel is a big deal. That means we actually got to play our Runerigus fast. We get to pile up enough damage counters on the first turn and possibly do our first hit right now. Is it possible? I don't know. Let's just do our Reckless Charge. I think it's enough to kill it. So it's not resistant to fighting. Milcery is a Fairy type. Fairy type means we can kill it with Reckless Charge. Let's do it, because we are placing 3 damage counters on the second copy, and that's actually going to help us a lot. And removing that energy from play is actually going to do a lot for us. If they play 𝘿𝓾𝓼𝓮𝓭 on the next turn with Cafe Master after benching enough Pokemons, they can actually do a knockout. So they need a lot though, because Cafe Master is a supporter card. So if they don't play Crobat or anything to draw cards, I don't think it's possible. They need to do, Air Balloon Retreat, attach from the hand. They need to do the evolution first. They need to do double evolution actually. So double evolution, Cafe Master, attach from the hand to the bench 𝘿𝓾𝓼𝓮𝓭, and then retreat the active to another 𝘿𝓾𝓼𝓮𝓭, and attack with the second one. Because if they don't have the first 𝘿𝓾𝓼𝓮𝓭 on the active, then they can't play the Cafe Master without ending their turn. So it's a lot that you need to think about. The Cafe Master 𝘿𝓾𝓼𝓮𝓭 is quite a difficult combo to pull off. You need a draw support. You need something like Bibarel or 𝘿𝓵𝓵𝓸𝓹, but they're actually playing 𝘿𝓵𝓵𝓸𝓹. They didn't get their basic supports early. They didn't get a VIP pass, Quick Ball, Level Ball, which is a bit sad. Capture actually works as well. Capture is going to get rotated, can you believe that? No more capture, but we got more balls. Feather Ball, I'm not sure what that's going to do. It's not going to help out at all, because we don't have that many free retreat Pokemons. Nothing but Cast Form, Mew VMAX, nothing else, right? There's not a lot of Pokemon that has 0 retreat. Feather Ball does nothing. I think there's gonna be new cards that they're gonna release, probably, with free retreat, free retreat Pokemons like Hisuian, Electrode, I think. I'm not too sure. I don't know. It's pretty silly. Because as of now, there's not a lot of Pokemons with free retreat. bit depressing. So they actually got an Indeedee with the Call for Family. I think it's Call for Sign, I'm not too sure. But search your deck for 2 basic Pokemons. And I think it's a colorless cause. It's a psychic Pokemon, interesting. Not sure what the second attack is, but quite a weird card to be playing. Call for Family, I suppose that's why they're using the card. Might as well play Cinccino, right? Cinccino is a level ball card, and it has the basic that allows you to call for family as well. I don't think there's any point doing 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝑚. You could attack with it though for 120 damage, which is not bad. Only 60 if they are not weak towards Dark type, but if they are weak towards, you can do 120 to collect the knockout after doing 𝘿𝐶𝐷. 𝘿𝐶𝐷 can actually do a one-hit knockout though, if you are fast enough to play, you know, your supporter cards. So now we get to kill. I think we have enough. We actually have enough. We got Air Balloon for the retreat. We actually got 8 damage counters to kill all 3 on the bench. The Milcery and the 2 Purloin. Oh, we actually didn't retreat. I think we already retreated. So we got 14 damage counters, which is just right. So 6, 6, and 2. Killed everything. One last prize. And we got both Runerigus ready to go, fully charged, enough damage counters on both. If they play something like a 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝑚, they can actually deny us our attack. So that's the bad thing about Runerigus. If your opponent heals your Pokemon, I don't think there's a lot of cards that allows them to do that. Only with 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝑚, right? That's the only card that allows you to heal your opponent's Pokemon. So they actually conceded because they got nothing. No bench support, no more 𝘿𝐶𝐷. One last 𝘿𝐶𝐷 actually. Okay, now we're up against a fire deck. Could it be a Charizard? They got the Team Challenge deck sleeve and the fire deck box. And an Arceus coin. We're actually playing a Groudon coin for our Runerigus ground type. Rune Pokemon, ground or rock type. I think it's ground type, right? This is a sarcophagus. Rune. It's a rune. Artifact, right? Something like I don't know what it was. Ancient writings on the wall. Ancient tiles. And we actually have a Psychic Fighting deck box for both the ground type and our Rapidash. We got a normal deck sleeve, I think. I'm not sure what deck sleeve we have. Oh, we got a Fairy deck sleeve. Fairy deck sleeve for Rapidash. This is both a Psychic and Fairy type. Candy Rapidash. Goldilocks, right? Goldilocks. The Cotton Candy Unicorn. I mean, the locks, the hair, the mane, I don't know what you call it, but the hair of Rapidash looks a lot like cotton candy. So Arceus with no energy on the first turn, that's great. Not complaining. That means we got enough turns. No, we got an extra turn to basically do our place enough damage counters on Runerigus. We're gonna do Reckless Charge, just because there's no way they can knock out. There's no way they could do 40 damage to our Pokemon, unless if they're playing like a Rare Candy or Quick Shoot and enough Zigzagoon Scoop Up Max. That would be quite ridiculous though, right? Or they could actually do a Hoopa, bench a Hoopa, play a Tower of Waters, retreat, and kill us. Or they don't even need a tower. I don't think it's smart to play tower with Arceus. Air Balloon switch would be smarter. So they got no Starbirth, they got no Level Ball. It's pretty miserable, I would say. Kind of certain they were gonna do a Melanie, you know, like a Level Ball like crazy for Quick Ball to discard the water, Melanie, and then Starbirth for more search. It's crazy, isn't it? Inteleon, Shady Dealings, and Starbirth. I mean, how broken is that? What more do you want? Right? What more do you want out of life? There's nothing else you could ask for than an Arceus V-Star with Shady Dealings. That's the most powerful deck ever. I don't think anything can beat that, except for maybe 𝘿𝐿 I don't know. If they play 𝘿𝐿 VMAX with Arceus, all you need to do is, you know, Trinity Nova for the first hit for 0 damage, and then after that you just need to, you know, hit with your second Arceus. And they can't actually do a one-hit knockup with 𝘿𝐿, so if you play enough Cherrims with your Inteleon, I don't think they have the space for Cherrim Inteleon if they play 𝘿𝐿. So Inteleon wins. Inteleon wins everything. Inteleon wins everything. That's how ridiculous this game is. You want to win big? Play nothing but Inteleon. I guarantee you that you're gonna win. If you play 4 copies of Drizzile in your deck, you are for sure gonna win a lot with this game. There is no doubt about that. If you post videos with 4 copies of Drizzile in your deck, you're gonna get thousands and thousands of views. Trust me, that's gonna happen for you. That's how dumb this game is. That's how dumb people are. Mass idiocy. Mass idiocy, I would say. Everyone is an idiot now. I'm sorry to say, but everyone is. They don't really care of finding new ways to play the game. They don't care about creativity, imagination, personality, IQ, building their IQ, finding loopholes into the game. They don't care about that. They just care about winning. That's how dumb people are now. And they actually watch so many times. They would spend hours and hours in their day to watch Inteleon videos. How dumb is that? I'm sorry guys, I have to say that. I have to say that. People post Lucario with Inteleon, Obstagoon with Inteleon. Whatever you post with Inteleon, you're gonna get thousands and thousands of views. That's how stupid people are. That's how fucking moronic people are. Cheering after nothing but Shady Dealings. I mean, it's been out for so many sets now. It's the very first one for Sword and Shield. It's been out for so many seasons now. And people are still crazy about it. Come on! Get over it! Find new ways of playing the game, for fuck's sake. Are you really that stupid? Can't think of any other way to play the game? Are you really that dumb? You're making the game unplayable. You're seriously making the game unplayable. If they got their level ball, we're done. That's how silly this game is. All they need is a level ball. Isn't that ridiculous? Crazy ridiculous. We got nothing. We actually got a quick ball in our hand for Crobat for the next draw. So we shouldn't be too worried. We got no more Crobat though. We actually did a PRs and search for nothing but an energy. Let's just do... fingers crossed they don't do a boss. If they kill our Runerigus on the bench, I don't think we stand a high chance of winning, because we have to somehow switch enough times for, you know, switch 8 times. Well, actually 7 times, just because we have a rare fossil on the bench. 7 switch for 8 damage counters on the Runerigus to kill both the Arceus and the Dunsparce. So that's gonna help us out a lot. So no boss, there we go, we won the game. That's it. If they don't heal or play a Cherrim, we won the game. They actually got a really cool deck, a very interesting deck. Mustard for Cinderace, but I wouldn't say it's too cool though. I would say it's quite silly. It's quite, not silly, it's quite bland just because they're playing Inteleon. I do not respect anyone who plays Inteleon. I'm sorry. If you don't play if you don't use an unplayable card, cards that are very weak. I actually built a lot of Inteleon decks myself, but I only build it when I need to. When I need that ability, like crazy, to make cards that are way too weak, cards that are unplayable in the standard format, to make them, to make them work. There's no other way but to play that Inteleon, then I'm gonna do it, right? Lucario doesn't need Inteleon, for fuck's sake. I don't know why everyone's so hyped about that card. Lucario Inteleon is just, it works well, but I mean, it's dumb. It's like, oh my god. It's like you're not even using your brain. You don't have to use your brain. Anything with Inteleon, you don't have to use your brain. So we did it. We did our final knockout for the last 3 points. We killed the Arceus V-Star and the Dunsparce with our Spreading Spite. 16 damage counters, killing both cards. So I actually built a Probopass with Drizzile. I think we have one Inteleon in that deck as well. So Inteleon Quick Shoot. We need one copy to place extra damage counters on their Pokemon, just because we are doing very low damage with our Pokemon. Lucario does a lot of damage already. If you play Shady Dealings or Raihan, you're doing even more damage for your Energy Switch. You're doing more damage, obviously. So it's really a no-brainer deck. It's so stupid. You don't even need Inteleon. Bibarel is gonna do just the same thing. I mean, why do you need Inteleon? People are stupid. There's no other way to play Lucario, right? There's no other way to attach energies. Other than Raihan, Marnie's Pride, what else? BD, Turbo Patch. Turbo Patch only works for the basic, but you can still do it. And you can also do like the Greedy Pickaxe for the next set. There's gonna be Greedy Pickaxe for Fighting type and Bay. I mean, oh my goodness. I can't stand it. I can't stand Inteleon, guys. I just can't stand it. Okay, now they're playing another Mew VMAX. They actually got a really bad start. So, pretty happy to see someone playing a Mew VMAX Sweat. Always happy to see that. Anyone playing the meta decks, crazy meta. In the tournament, this is a tournament as well. They got such a shit hand that they couldn't do anything but pass the turn. Or maybe they actually, this is actually a first game of the tournament, so I don't think they would be passing the first turn doing nothing. Although it could happen though. It could happen that they actually missed the first turn. If you miss the first turn in the tournament, you might as well concede. I mean, one turn is all it takes for your opponent to pick up the pace. Okay, we're gonna do Escape Rope back to the Yamask, and then Crobat. I'm not sure if I want to discard the Bird Keeper. Maybe we should discard the boss. Let's just do the boss. Since we have our Yamask early, since we have our Runerigus fast, let's just play nothing but Runerigus and Rapidash. If they put the damage Pokemon in the active, we can play our Farfetch'd. Otherwise, Farfetch'd is gonna do nothing. So if they don't retreat the Mew after our Libra Horn, Farfetch'd is gonna kill it. If they do, Runerigus is gonna kill it. Another turn, doing nothing. There we go, they did something. They did a boss and nothing else. Horrible. Nothing but a boss. They got a really bad start. Really, I mean, how bad a hand could you have for you not to be able to play anything? I think they have nothing but Mew VMAX in their hand. I mean, maybe evolution cards and supporters, right? If they have supporter card, they can't do anything on the first turn, going first. Supporter cards and the evolution. I don't know, it's quite weird though, because Mew VMAX has a lot of items, a lot of basics. It's quite ridiculous that they couldn't get any one of those cards in their hand. Cramomatic and VIP Pass, Level Ball, Fog Crystal, Quick Ball, my bad, not Level Ball. Great Ball, Level Ball, Fog Crystal, Chili Silent and Crest for your Genesect to do its ability. Okay, we actually got so many damage counters in. We get to do 12 damage counters placement. We're gonna do it. It's actually better than Rapidash, because Rapidash is only doing 9 damage counters. Genesect only has 190 HP, so Rapidash is not doing a lot. Might as well just play Runerigus early, because I don't think they can attack just yet. If they play Meloetta, they can kill us. If they play anything though, they just need to do Psychic Leap, right? So Elisa, they can actually knock us out. So it may actually be wiser to do Rapidash, just because Rapidash can tank the first knockout if they do Elisa. So Elisa with Meloetta couldn't actually do the knockout against Rapidash, unless if they play their Power Tablets and Choice Belt. So 140 is not quite enough. The bad thing about Spike Mode is that you actually have to take the recoil for your other Pokemon as well. So if you have Farfetch'd, Rapidash in your active spot, if you have to put them in the active and then retreat them as well on the next turn, you actually have to take the recoil. So that's probably the only bad thing for this deck. Well, not the only bad thing, but one of the bad things. Every deck has a lot of loopholes, like, not loopholes, a lot of weaknesses if you can find them hard enough, but they have their own strengths as well. Obviously, some decks are broken because there's nothing you can do against it, right? If they play Arceus Inteleon, their success rate is just over 90%. There's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that. You can play a Weezing, but you can quite easily do a boss, escape rope, and you're done. If you do nothing but a Weezing, they're just gonna kill it in the active spot. So, you're dead. Either way, you're dead. Psychic Leap, are they gonna shuffle it back? I don't think so. Okay, we're gonna kill the second Genesect with another Runerigus, and then aim to kill the Mew with our Farfetch'd, I suppose. It's better to just wait for Rapidash, because I don't think playing Rapidash would be smart right now. Obviously, right? Because they have no VMAX. Okay, we're gonna play the Stadium card. We're gonna do another switch. Can actually do the retreat though. We're gonna do it. We're gonna retreat to the fossil, discard, and kill the Genesect. Place extra damage counters on the Mew. Not sure how we're gonna collect the final 2 prize though, because we got no more Runerigus. So this list, I think we're playing 4 copies. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're playing 4 copies. So we have 4 Runerigus Yamask. I'm pretty sure we should be getting another copy on the bench right now. There we go. Another one on the bench. And we just need to somehow... we actually did... Oh, we saved... We didn't retreat though. That's a big surprise. Oh, because we don't need the extra ones, right? We don't need the extra damage counter. It would be wasting our rare fossil if we did the retreat right now. So we should be saving our switch cards for the next Yamask. I keep calling it Yamask, it's a Runerigus. Runerigus placing enough damage counters for the final knockout. We just need to do Libra Horn first. I think they're gonna get the Genesect. There we go. We can actually do Libra Horn on anything, not just the VMAX, because the VMAX can actually do Psychic Leap. I think our best bet here is to kill the Genesect. So kill anything that cannot leap, anything that cannot be discarded from play, removed from play with like a Scoop Up Net or Collapse Stadium. If they play Collapse Stadium though, they can actually discard it, right? So our worst fear is if they play that Stadium card and if they do enough bench Pokemons, they can actually discard the Genesect before we collect the knockout. I think we run a higher risk of them playing the Psychic Leap than the Collapse Stadium, because Collapse Stadium actually requires you to bench everything as well. So let's just do our Libra Horn on the Genesect. We actually got another Yamask, so I don't think we should be worried too much. We just need to place enough damage controls on both. So we need 2 more switch, right? We got a retreat, and we just need like a switch retreat on the next turn. Oh, we need 2 switch cards though. My bad. We need 2 switch cards to do 6 damage counters on the Runerigus. We got a Spike Plant in our hand. If we don't play a Marnie, we're good. Please don't play a Marnie. They got a Marnie deck sleeve though, so I'm pretty scared right now. Marnie deck sleeve for a Mew VMAX. I don't think Mew VMAX has a Marnie though. They play Avery. They play. I'm not sure what they play. Peony. I think that's the only thing they play. Research, Peony, Avery, right? Birdkeeper possibly for Genesect, because they don't need a lot of draw supports. So we actually did the Mew VMAX and we killed it with a Leek Lash. Because they evolved the second one, that means they can't do a Psychic Leap. So that one copy of Farfetch'd actually helped us collect the final knockout. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy your life.